Hey guys, Ben here from IIFYM Nutrition, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about IIFYM, otherwise known as If It Fits Your Macros, as a flexible dieting strategy whereby you effectively track the macros that you eat, and as long as you stick to within your tolerance, you can basically eat whatever you want. So in today's video I'm going to cover that. I'm also going to show you how you can work out those calories and macros, and also how to track them to make sure that you're not over consuming your macros. So firstly, we've pretty much covered it already, but if it fits your macros basically means that if it fits in your macros for the day, you can eat it. So it gives people quite an easy, flexible way of dieting, that you set the amount of macros depending on what your goal is, whether that be a cut, maintain, or to gain weight. And as long as what you're consuming in that day fits within the macros, then all is well. And that's the only thing that you need to do, basically. You go around your day eating the things that you fancy eating, making sure that you're scanning them and making sure that you don't run out of macros to allocate that food to. So it can be quite simple. It can also give people a lot more flexibility with the foods that they're eating, because as long as they fit within your macros, you can eat them. Now, a word of warning with this, a lot of people use this as kind of a golden ticket to basically be able to eat a load of crap. So swapping out carbohydrates for lots of sweets and things, because ultimately they are high in carbohydrate. However, the thing that you have to be aware of is that with macros and with foods, you've got certain foods that are calorie rich, calorie dense, so things like whole foods, vegetables and things like that. You've also then got things like sweets that, yes, although they are high in sugar and simple carbs, they're also not very nutrient rich. So if you kind of use a lot of your macros on stuff like that, A, it's not really going to fill you up, and B, it's not really going to give your body much nutrients. So you need to kind of be a little bit aware of that with if it fits your macros and the foods that you're eating. But I always say, if you approach it like a kind of 80-20 split, try and be eating really good, nice, decent food 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time be more flexible, eat the other things that you want that aren't necessarily so nutrient rich. But that way you're going to kind of get the best of both worlds. You can keep it fitting within your macros, but you've got the freedom to kind of eat some naughty stuff at the same time. Now, to work it out, you've obviously got to understand, what your macro split should be and how many of each of the macros you need. So carbohydrates, fats and proteins. Now, I can go through the long convoluted way of this, or alternatively, which I will do, I've linked below to a calorie calculator, the one that I created, whereby you go through, pop a few things in, hit go, and basically it will calculate the amount of macros that you need to consume a day in order to hit the goal that you want. And you can set that for cutting weight and losing weight, maintaining weight, or gaining weight. So depending on what your goal is, you'll get a different macro split, and obviously, how much you weigh, lifestyle and all of that lot. So firstly, you need to go hit the calculator link at the end of this, calculate your calories, and then what you'll need to do once you've calculated the calories and macros within the calculator is we move on to the next step, which is to track the macros that you're eating. And this is really, really simple. Most people have heard of MyFitnessPal. It's free to use. It's the most popular one. There are other ones available. But the good thing with MyFitnessPal is easy to set up. So you'll take the data that you got from the calculator below, you'll take that and you'll go into your goal setting in MyFitnessPal, and you will basically select that so that you select the amount of calories and the amount of macros that you're putting in for your day. And then simply once you've done that, you go about the day scanning the foods that you eat so that you track it into MyFitnessPal, and you keep an eye to make sure that you're staying within those calorie and macro targets for the day. As long as you do that, you're sticking to it and all is well. Word of warning, for the first week or so, be a bit flexible with yourself, because you will get it wrong. You'll probably go slightly over or slightly under. But as you start using it more and more, understanding kind of roughly, how many macros are in different foods, you'll find that it's a lot easier to stick to, and you'll go, oh, I've got, X amount of carbs left. I'll have an apple, or I'll have a chocolate bar, whatever it is. But that kind of makes that quite simple. And a top tip for using it that I would suggest is use the meals function within MyFitnessPal to select and allocate a certain percentage of your calories and macros a day. So if you eat breakfast, lunch and dinner and you have a couple of snacks, make sure you're splitting out your calories between those meals, and that when you scan stuff in, you scan them into, whether it's breakfast, lunch, dinner or the snacks. Because you can also, if you regularly have the same kind of snacks, like if you, in the afternoon you always have an apple, then you can kind of build that in. And it just gives you an idea of, for each meal, how many calories you should be allocating or looking at. So I hope you found that useful. I'd love to know if you're currently using it, if it fits your macros, what the kind of benefits and the kind of pitfalls that you found from using it. I think it's quite a valuable strategy, especially for people that like to eat lots of different things and they just want a simple way over the day just to kind of scan things and just give them a bit of a visual, make sure they're keeping within a certain tolerance. So like I say, I'd love to know how you found, if it fits your macros, if you've already tried it, or alternatively, if you're gonna try it. So let me know in the comments below and I'll see you in the next video.